Hi there. My name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie him to an item from the Dollar Tree or the junk drawer or the kids' room or the garage. That is how we've been doing it. Thank you for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way, and thank you for the love that you are sharing with your kids and your congregation and your families. You are rocking it, my friend. Thank you. Then thank you. Did I just say partnership in this ministry? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, I'm full of thanks, full of gratitude. This week, I celebrate my 25th anniversary of ordination. It's actually the 5th this Thursday. I'm recording this on Monday. And Sunday, our congregation had a reception after church for me. And I tell you what, feeling the love. It's absolutely, I'm so full of gratitude and thanks. So I've been here for half my ordained life, 12 and a half years. So, and pressing on, we're got stuff to do. It's good. God's working. All right. So this is for the narrative lectionary. And we have, I'm like, we'll get on with the children's sermon. This is for the narrative lectionary, and we're looking at God's promise, and it's out of Joel. And the commentary and the narrative lectionary calls it God's promise, or the promise of the Spirit, but God's promise to that Spirit falls on all of us. And I love the imagery when it's like it's sons and daughters, it's old and young, it's all. So, two springboards. One is ways that we remember something, that we remember that we remember that we made a promise. And I was thinking of when God makes a promise, or when we make a promise. And there's things that I'll like put a string around my finger. I've never done that, but we've heard about it, where put a string, and that helps me remember it, but it also helps me remember what the promise was. So, yes, so there's that. And along with that, there is, I've done this before, and I might have mentioned it in the narrative lectionary, but where getting a very long spool of twine, rope, something like that. Since I do magic, I've got like 300 yards of rope that I use for cut and restore and stuff like that. Using that, we make an entire loop around the congregation as remembering that God keeps God's promises. It's not to remind God about God's promises, but it's to remind us that God keeps God's promises. And there's a promise that happens in this text. So the narrative lectionary has a great commentary you can read, and exploring that. Now, so that's one direction. The direction I'm leaning towards is the second springboard, and that has to do with talking about the word all. That in Joel says, and God's Spirit, I think it uses the word Spirit. I'd have to go back and look at the text, but there's that where it flows out upon all. And that, again, mentioning, young and old, male and female, and everything in between. I mean, that whole spectrum. God's Spirit falls on all. So the question that I have for the kids is, what does all mean? The way I've done this in the past, and it works so well, is having, the kids come up and say, all right, I want to talk about this word all. Where and say, God's grace, God's love, God pours down God's grace and love on all. So let's talk about what all means. And then, so you have the first portion of maybe the first quarter, maybe the first eighth. Our seating is in kind of cathedral style, regular. Anyway, so we have the two sides, and I can break it up into either quarters or eighths. And so having the left side have the first three pews stand up. If they stand up in body or in spirit, and they stand up and ask the kids, so is that all? Is everyone standing up? Is that all? And they go, no. So you have, see, they remain standing. You tell them to remain standing. The next people stand up. The next three pews. Okay, there we go. That's all, right? I've got everyone, all are standing, right? No. And you go through and you have it to where the entire sanctuary, the entire congregation is standing. You ask the question, okay, is that all? And it'll either go one of two ways. One, they'll say yes, or one of the kids will know that it's not all because the kids aren't standing. And when I have done this, I did this a number of Sundays ago. When I did it, I actually had a congregation member say, "No, the kids aren't standing," which was beautiful. So that someone else noticed and said, "No, they are included in all," which it was wonderful. So that's the direction I'm going to help the kids and the congregation be reminded that God's love and grace and God's Spirit is upon us all. And that's a crucial thing. So that's the direction I'm going. I'm hoping this can be useful for your own children's sermon. And thank you so much for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregations and your families. You are rocking it. And thank you for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way. All right, we'll see you next week. Peace.